Now it's time for some headlines. All right, guys, I actually bring in some headlines. Two headlines for me. I want to start off on a bit of a somber note. Brian Whiston, the state superintendent, passed away this week. He was diagnosed with cancer late last year, and he passed away. We've had him on the show a number of times. You know, I'm really passionate about talking about K through 12 education, and he had a very tough job on his plate. But I knew him actually when I was working as a reporter and anchor at Channel 7 when he was the Dearborn superintendent. Really always accessible, very frank in his conversation and assessment of what was happening, and especially he and I had a lot of conversations about funding for schools, and I really always appreciated that, and I always appreciated his input.
Yeah, I had a conversation with John Austin, the former school board president, who kind of engineered the choice of Brian as superintendent. You know, he's a Democrat, a staunch Democrat. Brian was a former chief of staff for a Republican. One of the things that was true about Brian was this ability to sort of get past partisanship and politics and sort of act in the best interest of schools. Yeah,
so our thoughts are out to his family this week. Another thing, the Republican candidates for governor debated in Grand Rapids last night. Nolan, did you watch a little bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, what struck me is there's not a dime's worth of difference in policy-wise between these candidates, at least the major candidates. There's not much difference on the nuts and bolts of how they would operate Michigan. And so it became, as this campaign has been, a sort of character attack, a character smear. Kelly and Schuette, Brian Kelly, Bill Schuette, continue to just tear each other apart. I don't see how that's doing a party that's going to have a struggle anyway this fall. I don't see how it's doing it any good.
So it was interesting. Wood TV was the one that did the debate, and they carried it here on WDIV in Detroit, around the state. And I encourage people to go back and take a look at it if you didn't see it last night. But they did this focus group of Republicans afterwards, and they asked them how they felt about the attacks that Kelly and Schuette were doing back and forth. And they said they found that the most distracting part, and they didn't like it at all. And I'm wondering if they're going to take some of that feedback and change. But it seems no.
Oh, people say that all the time. And then they go out and vote for the person who's making the attacks on the other person anyway. I mean, people don't like it. They wish politics were something different, but it's not. I mean, this is not. Yeah, but I don't know that this is out of character for an inter-party race.
I think when you got an inter-party race,
you're concerned by all the mudslinging.
I just think it's going to kill Republican chances as small or hurt them. You know, when it's intra-party, it usually doesn't get this personal and this vicious. This is really ugly stuff. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the 2016 presidential primaries.
Right.
They're borrowing from that Trump playbook.
And they're touting, well, Schuette's touting Trump support, and they're all saying, well, I voted for Trump, but they're making it a lot about the president as well. All right, what did you see?
Well, you know, the corner broke ground on Eric Larson's development on the old ballpark in Corktown, right next to the new PAL field. It's just one more piece here. You got to say the timing of that. I mean, it's like they hit the jackpot breaking ground on that, a project that's been 5 years in the planning. The same week the Ford Motor Company discussed its plan to move big time into Corktown. Corktown over the next 3 to 5 years is going to be just boom city.
Yeah.
All right, what's your headline?
Speaking of ballparks, I'm not finding a lot of reasons to go to the ballpark these days, and not for any of the sports.
So wait a minute, is this Steven's Sports Corner graphic that I'm going to put up right now? All right, go ahead.
You know, I deep down want to be a sports commentator, not a regular old boring political journalist. I can't remember the last time that we had all 4 major sports teams be as bad as they are.
Not one playoff game between them.
Right. When's the last time that happened? I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. The last time it was this.
You know, the one thing I'd say about the Tigers though this season, we expected nothing out of them.
Yeah,
and
they're
they haven't delivered a whole lot, but they've been fun to watch. I mean, they are scrappy, and they're exceeding expectations, which is the key to success in life.
It is a little bit of
Set your expectations low.
Blow everyone away.
Is that on the front page of your book, Nolan? Is that in the foreword of the book? All right. All right. Well, it's always good to see you guys. Stephen Henderson, you can listen to him on WDET Radio in the morning from 9 to 10. Also, Nolan's on the radio in Superstation 910 from, what,
7 to 9.
to 9.
You could switch the channel.
That's right.
And then you can read him in the Detroit News. That's